I've become an archivist of the way you made me feel. I catalog each moment, each sensation, each reel. A memory, I label them by date, by intensity, by hue. I preserve them in acid-free boxes, keep them from the dew of forgetting the way you looked at me the first night. Nervous and shy, the way your hand felt in mine, the way you sighed, the way you said my name in the morning, sleepy and soft, the way you held me when I cried, never once turning away, never once alone. I'll carve the feeling, the texture of your love, the weight of your arm across my chest, the fit like a glove of your body against mine. I'll carve the way you laughed, the way you tilted your head back, the way you would never have in anything. I'll carve the feeling, the evidence of us, I preserve it in memory's museum, in the amber of trust. I archive the feeling, I'm afraid that if I don't, the feeling will fade, and I'll forget what I once thought I won't. The archivist of history, preserved documents, artifacts are. They preserve the physical evidence of what came before the part of now. But I'm preserving something that has no physical form, a feeling and emotion, a quiet internal storm. How do you archive a feeling? How do you preserve a touch? You can't put a sensation in a box, you can't save it as such. So I write it down, I describe it in words and poems and songs. I try to capture the ephemeral, write the feelings raw. I archive the feeling, the texture of your love, the weight of your arm across my chest, the fit like a glove of your body against mine. I archive the way you laughed, the way you tilted your head back, the way you would never have in anything. I archive the feeling, the evidence of us, I preserve it in memory's museum, in the amber of trust. I archive the feeling, I'm afraid that if I don't, the feeling will fade, and I'll forget what I once thought I won't. But archives are for the past, they're for preservation, not for life. They're for historians, for scholars, for the knife of time to cut and sort. I am not an archive, I am not a museum. I am a living, breathing person, and I need to let the feeling go from archive the feeling. But today I'm closing the archive, I'm putting the boxes in storage, I'm locking the museum doors. Not because I wanna forget, because I wanna remember without preserving. I want the feeling to live in me, not in boxes and labels. I want the feeling to breathe, to change, to evolve, to become part of who I am, not who I was. I archive the feeling, but I am not an archivist. I've become a cataloger of lost and bucket list of grief. I document every absence, every missing, every brief encounter with what used to be. I keep a log, a list. I write down everything I miss, everything I've kissed. Goodbye, I don't want you left, the way it filled the room. I've been to your hand in mine, dispelling all gloom. I've been through your voice in the morning, sleepy and low. I've been for the way you look at me, the way you know. I catalog the lost, item by item, day by day. I write it all down, hoping the words will take the pain away. But the catalog grows longer, the list never ends. I catalog the loss, I'm losing track of the dividends of grief. 5 and 5, the smell of your cologne on my pillowcase. Item 6, the sound of your key turning in its place. The sound of 7, the way you say my name, the way you sigh. I catalog the loss, I don't know why. Item 8, the future we plan, the house with the blue door. Item 9, the children we name, the games we play on the floor. Item 10, the vacations we take, the beaches we'd explored. And 11, the anniversaries we'd celebrate forevermore. Item 12, the Sunday mornings, coffee and the paper in bed, the arguments we'd have, the words we leave unsaid, the making up, the tenderness, the grace, style of wasting the life we were supposed to have, the life we didn't face. I catalog the loss, item by item, day by day. I write it all down, hoping the words will take the pain away. But the catalog grows longer, the list never ends. I catalog the loss, I'm losing track of the dividends of grief. I have pages and pages of what I no longer have. I have volumes of absence, libraries of the sad. I catalog the loss, it's become my life's work, my art. I catalog the loss, it's tearing me apart. But today I started a new catalog, not of loss, of gain, of what I have now, not what I miss, of sunshine after rain. Had a room, the peace of my own company, the quiet of my own room. Item 2, the strength I didn't know I had, the way I've learned to bloom. I catalog the loss, but today I catalog the game. Myself, my own tweet, my own trains me, my own lie. I catalog the loss, but the loss is not the only entry in my ledger. The gain is there too, the growth, the healing, the hope. I catalog the loss, but I also catalog the becoming, the woman I am now, built from the ashes of what was I. I catalog the loss, but the loss is not the end of the catalog, it's just the beginning. The rest of the pages are filled with me. My life, my life, my life. I catalog the loss, but the catalog is closing. I'm writing the final entry, 1,000,000 in the losses self. And then I close the book, I put it on the shelf. I start a new volume, my life. And it is full of gain, full of grace, full of me. I catalog a loss, but I am done cataloging. I'm living, and living is not cataloging. Living is experiencing, living is becoming, living is now. I catalog a loss, goodbye to the list, hello to the life, hello to me. Song comes on, the one we danced to at your cousin's wedding. I'm in the kitchen making dinner and the opening notes are heading straight for my heart. I freeze, spatula in hand, and then I close my eyes and I'm no longer in this land. I'm on the dance floor 3 years ago, your hand on my waist, you're smiling down at me, your face so full of grace. We're swaying to the music, not caring who's watching, just us. And for a moment I forget, for a moment I trust. I dance with your ghost in the kitchen when the song comes on. I close my eyes and you hear again that you are built upon. You're not the you who left me, not the you who walked away. You're the you who held me close and promised you would stay. I dance with your ghost, it's the only dance we have. You're not real, I know that you're just a memory of fat. But the music is real, and the movement is real, and the feeling in my chest. I dance with your ghost, it's better than I dancing, I guess. I've tried to dance with other people, I've gone to clubs, to bars, I've let strangers put their hands on my waist. Wished upon the stars that one of them would feel like you, but no one does. You had a particular way of moving, a particular because of closeness. You dance like you meant it, like the music was your soul. Others dance like they're performing, like they're trying to be in control. So I dance alone now in my kitchen when the right song plays. I dance with your ghost in the kitchen when the song comes on. I close my eyes and you hear again that you are built upon. You're not the you who left me, not the you who walked away. You're the you who held me close and promised you would stay. I dance with your ghost, it's the only dance we have. You're not real, I know that you're just a memory of fat. But the music is real, and the movement is real, and the feeling in my chest. I dance with your ghost, it's better than I dancing, I guess. But today that song came on, and I didn't close my eyes, I kept them open, kept making dinner, watched the steam rise. I didn't dance with your ghost, I let the song play through. And when it ended, I realized I didn't miss you. I danced with your ghost, but today I danced alone. No phantom partner, no memory of your hand on my waist, just to the music in my kitchen, alive and present. I dance with your ghost, but I don't need the ghost anymore. I don't need the memory of how we used to move. I have my own rhythm now, my own dance, my own song. I dance with your ghost, but today I dance with me. And it was better, it was real, it was mine. I built my bed on the cliffside, overlooking the sea. The edge is close, the drop is far, but it's home to me. Asleep with the sound of waves crashing on the rocks below. Asleep with the knowledge that one wrong move and I go. But I don't move, I stay still, curled in the center of the bed. I've learned to live with the precipice, with the danger I've bred. You pushed me to this cliff, or maybe I walked here on my own. Either way, this is where I live now. This is my home. I sleep on the cliffside, where the ground is thin and the edge is near. I sleep with the fear of falling, with the memory of fear. You said you'd catch me if I fell. You said you'd build a rail, but you left before the construction started. Left me to inhale the salt spray and the vertigo. I sleep on the cliffside, one eye open, one hand reaching for a rail that never materialized. I sleep on the cliffside. It's not safe, it's not secure, but it's the only place I know. It's the only place I'm sure. My friends say, move inland, build your house on solid ground. The cliff is eroding, the edge is getting closer. You need to be found, but I don't know how to move. I don't know how to leave. The cliffside is the only home I have, the only place I believe I deserve. You taught me that love is precarious, built on unstable land. You taught me security is an illusion, that the ground will shift like sand. So I stay on the cliffside, waiting for the inevitable fall. I sleep on the cliffside, I build my life on the wall. I sleep on the cliffside, where the ground is thin and the edge is near. I sleep with the fear of falling, with the memory of fear. You said you'd catch me if I fell. You said you'd build a rail, but you left before the construction started. Left me to inhale the salt spray and the vertigo. I sleep on the cliffside, one eye open, one hand reaching for a rail that never materialized. I sleep on the cliffside. It's not safe, it's not secure, but it's the only place I know. It's the only place I'm sure. But last night I dreamed of inland green hills, solid ground, no sound of waves, no vertigo, no fear of being found. One and I woke up, and for the first time I thought, maybe I can move. Maybe I don't have to live on the edge to prove I sleep on the cliffside. But tonight I'm packing my bags, I'm folding the sheets, I'm taking down the curtains, I'm leaving the edge behind. I sleep on the cliffside, but I'm moving in. I used to wear your noise like joy, like gold around my neck. Your voice was my accessory, your words my favorite check. I drape myself in your conversations, adorn myself with your sound. I was never without the music of you, always wrapped and bound. But then you stopped speaking, not all at once but slow. Your voice became a whisper, then a memory, then a no. And I was left with silence, naked and unadorned. I didn't know how to dress myself without the words you poured. Now I wear the silence like a simple plainclothes shift. It's not beautiful or elegant, but it's a gift. It doesn't sparkle or shine, doesn't draw the eye, but it's mine. It's mine, it's now right. It's become my second skin. It covers me completely, lets the real me begin to breathe. I wear the silence. At first it felt so bare, but now I feel its texture, its weight, its care. I've stopped trying to fill the silence with other people's noise. I've stopped turning on the radio to drown out the voice of you that isn't there. I've stopped needing that ground sound to prove that I'm not alone, that I'm still on solid ground. The silence is not empty, it's full of my own breath, it's full of my own heartbeat, my own life, my own death of the old me. The silence is not a void, it's a presence, it's the sound of me learning to trust my own essence. Now I wear the silence like a simple plainclothes shift. It's not beautiful or elegant, but it's a gift. It doesn't sparkle or shine, doesn't draw the eye, but it's mine. It's mine, it's not. It's become my second skin. It covers me completely, lets the real me begin to breathe. I wear the silence. At first it felt so bare, but now I feel its texture, its weight, its care. Silence is not the absence of sound, it's the presence of self. It's the sound of my own soul sitting on the shelf of my body, waiting to be heard. I wear the silence now, and if it's better than your noise ever did, somehow I wear the silence now, not as a punishment, not as a loss, as a choice, as a garment I have tailored myself. I wear the silence now. It doesn't need your voice to be beautiful, it doesn't need your words to be meaningful. It is enough, I am enough. I wear the silence now. And in the silence now, I hear myself for the first time, really hear myself, my own thoughts, my own dreams, my own desires, my own voice. Not yours, not yours. I talk to you still, even though you're not here. I whisper to the wall, to the ceiling, to the atmosphere. I tell you about my day, the small things, the mundane. I tell you about the bird that nested in the gutter drain. I tell you about the book I'm reading, the recipe I tried. I tell you about the dream I had with you by my side. I know you can't hear me, I know the walls don't speak back, but I whisper to them anyway. A habit I can't seem to crack. I whisper to the walls, and they hold my secrets tight. They don't judge, don't interrupt, don't turn off the light. They just listen, patient and still as I pour out my heart. I whisper to the walls, it's the only way we're not apart. The walls have heard every confession, every fear, every hope. They witness my grief, my anger, my struggle to cope. I whisper to the walls, they're the best listeners I know. They don't leave, they don't lie, they don't go. Sometimes I pretend you're on the other side of the plaster. I imagine you leaning in, listening, trying to master the art of hearing me from wherever you are now. I imagine you smiling or crying or taking a vow to come back. But the walls don't have ears, they don't have hearts. They're just drywall and paint, the sum of their parts. But I whisper to them anyway. It's not about you anymore, it's about the ritual, the release, the opening of the door. I whisper to the walls, and they hold my secrets tight. They don't judge, don't interrupt, don't turn off the light. They just listen, patient and still as I pour out my heart. I whisper to the walls, it's the only way we're not apart. The walls have heard every confession, every fear, every hope. They witness my grief, my anger, my struggle to cope. I whisper to the walls, they're the best listeners I know. They don't leave, they don't lie, they don't go. But today I didn't whisper, I spoke out loud, clear and strong. I said I'm done whispering, I've whispered too long. And the walls didn't answer, they never do. But I felt something shift, I felt the weight of silence lift, I felt the beginning of a gift. I whispered to the walls, but today I spoke not to you, not to the ghost of you, to myself, to the room, to the air. My voice was not a whisper, it was a declaration, it was a song. It was a prayer. I whispered to the wall, but I don't need a whisper anymore. I don't need to hide my voice in the plaster and pain. I can speak out loud, I can be heard, not by you, by me. I didn't know you had an exit strategy, I didn't know you had a plan. I thought we were building a life together, laying bricks with our hands. But you were always keeping one eye on the door, one foot out of the frame. You were always preparing for departure, memorizing your own name. name on the lease of somewhere else. You were always mapping your escape. I thought your distance was contemplation. You was just the shape of your retreat. You had a timeline, a checklist, a bag packed by the bed. You had an exit strategy. I should have seen it in dread. Your love's exit strategy, the plan you always had. I was the scenery, the backdrop, the reason you were sad to leave, but not sad enough to stay. You had a destination, a reason to be about. You're leaving your love's exit strategy. I was collateral damage, the cost of your freedom. You didn't pay me, you just lost interest in the stay. You had an exit strategy from the start, and I was the fool who didn't know I gave you my whole heart. I found the documents after you left in a drawer you forgot to clear. Maps of new cities, brochures of places far from here. A list of apartments, their prices, their availability, dates. A spreadsheet of your escape, itemizing your escape from our fates. You have been planning this for months, baby, years. You have been preparing me for your departure, calming my fears with promises you never intended to keep. You had an exit strategy, and I was the only one who didn't know, the only one not free. Your love's exit strategy, the plan you always had. I was the scenery, the backdrop, the reason you were sad to leave, but not sad enough to stay. You had a route, a destination, a reason to be about. You're leaving your love's strategy. I was collateral damage, the cost of your freedom. You didn't hate me, you just lost interest in the start. You had an exit strategy from the start, and I was the fool who didn't know I gave you my whole heart. I'm developing my own exit strategy now, not from you. You're already gone, from the belief that I need someone else to lean on, from the idea that love is something I have to own. My exit strategy is from the lesson I have to unlearn. Your love's exit strategy. I'm not angry about it anymore. I don't rage at the spreadsheets, the maps, the lists, the plans. I understand now. You were always leaving. It wasn't about me, it was about you. Your need for escape, for freedom, for the open road. Your love's exit strategy. Oh, was just a rest stop, a place to catch your breath, a brief respite on your journey elsewhere. Your love's exit strategy. I'm developing my own now, not to leave someone, to leave the idea that I am not enough, to leave the fear that I will be abandoned, to leave the belief Started with the present tense, active voice, indicative mood. We love, we are, we have the grammar of the good. And we move to the future, the conditional, the will and shall. We will always, we shall never, the grammar of the all. And came the past tense, the perfect, the pluperfect, the had. We had loved, we had been, the grammar of the sad. And now we're in the final grammar, the tense of the no more, the grammar of the ending, the closing of the door. This is love's final grammar, the language of goodbye. No more present, no more future, no more you and I. Just the past perfect, the past continuous, the past complete. Just the grammar of the aftermath, the language of defeat. I had loved you, we had been, it had ended before we knew love's final grammar, the last tense, the last adieu. I conjugate your absence in the preterite and the past, love's final grammar, the verb of us is cast. I used to hate grammar lessons, the rules, the exceptions, the charts. But now I see that grammar is the language of hearts. Every tense tells a story, every mood reveals, every conjugation is a wound that heals. Or doesn't our love had its own grammar, its own syntax and style? We were fluent in each other for a beautiful brief while. But now I'm learning a new grammar, the grammar of just me. And the first verb I'm conjugating is I am free. This is love's final grammar, the language of goodbye. No more present and no more future, no more you and I. Just the past perfect, the past continuous, the past complete. Just the grammar of the aftermath, the language of defeat. I had loved you, we had been, it had ended before we knew love's final grammar, the last tense, the last adieu. I conjugate your absence in the preterite and the past, love's final grammar, the verb of us is cast. The grammar is not static, languages evolve and change. New tenses are created, old ones rearranged. I am creating a new grammar now, a language of my own. And the first rule is I am the subject, I am the throne, love's final grammar. I close the textbook, I put away the conjugation charts. I stop analyzing the tenses of us, love's final grammar. I am learning a new language, the language of me. It has no past tense, only present, only future, only now. The verb to be is conjugated In the first person singular, I am becoming, I will be lost. Final grammar, I am not a verb to be conjugated by you. I am a noun, a subject, a sentence, a story, and my grammar is my own love's final grammar. The end of the lesson, the beginning of me. There was a bridge between us, built with time and trust. It spanned the distance between our hearts, made of hope and dust. I stood on my side, waiting for you to meet me in the middle, but you stayed on your shore, silent, playing your own fiddle. I called your name across the water, I waved my arms in the air. I said, come on, I'm safe, I promise. There's nothing to fear. But you just stood there watching, your hands in your pockets still. The bridge between us was sturdy, it was your will. This is the bridge I couldn't cross, not because it wasn't strong, but because you never met me halfway. You never sang along. I could've walked the whole way, reached your shore alone, but a bridge requires two to cross, to make a crossing known. This is the bridge I couldn't cross. I waited years for you. I kept the structure maintained, the cables tight, the planks true, but you never stepped foot on it. You never even tried. This is the bridge I couldn't cross, the bridge where our love died. I don't blame you for not crossing, I don't blame you for your fear. I blame myself for waiting so long, for making the crossing clear. And then waiting, I should've turned around, walked back to my own land. I should've realized that some bridges are built on shifting sand. But I kept hoping, kept maintaining, kept the structure in repair. I thought if I just kept it strong enough, you'd eventually care enough to take the first step. But you never did, you never came. The bridge I couldn't cross became the bridge of my own shame. This is the bridge I couldn't cross, not because it wasn't strong, but because you never met me halfway. You never sang along. I could've walked the whole way, reached your shore alone, but a bridge requires two to cross, to make a crossing known. This is the bridge I couldn't cross. I waited years for you. I kept the structure maintained, where love's back. I'm not maintaining a bridge anymore. I'm not keeping it in repair. I'm letting it fall into disrepair, into the water, into the air. I'm not waiting for you to cross. I'm not waiting on the shore. I'm turning around, walking back, closing the door. No bridge I couldn't cross. I'm not crossing it. I'm not maintaining it. I'm not waiting on it. I'm walking away back to my own shore, my own land. Before you, my heart was a clockwork mechanism, precise and true. Gears and springs and pendulums, all in order, all in view. It kept perfect time, never fast, never slow. It regulated my days, my nights, my ebb and flow. Then you arrived and you didn't break it. You just opened the cage. You looked at the intricate machinery, the delicate face. You said this is beautiful, and you touched a gear with your finger. And my clockwork heart, for the first time, began to linger. Now my clockwork heart is broken. The gears are stripped and still. The pendulum no longer swings. The hands are frozen. The chime is new. You didn't mean to break it. You were just curious, just kind. But your touch was too much for the mechanism of my mind. My clockwork heart, I used to know exactly what time it was. Now I live in perpetual twilight, because you opened the case and let the dust in, let the air in, let the light. My clockwork heart, it hasn't kept time since the night. I've tried to fix it myself. I've opened the case, peered inside. I've cleaned the gears with alcohol, polished them, tried to guide the springs back into place. But my hands are too big, too clumsy. The mechanism is too delicate, too fine, too much like a mummy of what it used to be. I took it to a watchmaker, a specialist in hearts. He said I can fix the mechanism, but I can't fix the art of love. The damage here is not mechanical, it's emotional. This heart has been broken by something more than physical. Now my clockwork heart is broken. The gears are stripped and still. The pendulum no longer swings. The hands are frozen. The chime is new. You didn't mean to break it. You were just curious, just kind. But your touch was too much for the mechanism of my mind. My clockwork heart, I used to know exactly what time it was. Now I live in perpetual twilight, because you opened the case and let the dust in, let the air in, let the light. My clockwork heart, it hasn't kept time since the night. But maybe I don't need a clockwork heart. Maybe I don't need to know the time. Maybe I can live in the present, not by the pendulum shine. Maybe a broken clock is right twice a day, and that's enough. Maybe I don't need precision. Maybe I don't need the stuff. My clockwork heart, I'm not trying to fix it anymore. I doesn't keep time, but it keeps beating, steady, slow, alive. Not precise, not accurate, but alive. I've planted a garden of forgetting in the backyard of my mind. I've tilled the soil of memory, pulled the weeds of time. I've planted rows of letting go, beds of moving on. I've watered them with acceptance, fed them with the dawn. But forgetting is not easy. The seeds take root so slow, and the weeds of you keep coming back. They always seem to grow. I pull them out by the handful, but their roots are deep and wide. The garden of forgetting is a difficult place to abide. This is the garden of forgetting, where I come to try to let you go. I plant new seeds every morning, but the old ones still grow. Your memory is perennial, coming back year after year. The garden of forgetting is watered by my tears. I wanna forget you, I wanna let you fade, but the garden of forgetting is not a garden I have made. It's a wild place, untamed and free, and you are the hardiest weed. The garden of forgetting, I don't know if I'll ever succeed. I've tried to plant over you, to cover the ground with new flowers. I've planted roses of resilience, tulips of happier hours. I've planted lavender of peace, sunflowers of hope. I've planted dahlias of dignity, daisies of learning to cope. But you always find a way through a crack in the soil, a gap in the light. You push through the new growth, stubborn and bright. I don't know if I wanna forget you completely. I don't know if I could. The garden of forgetting is not forgetting, it's just understanding. I should. This is the garden of forgetting, where I come to try to let you go. I plant new seeds every morning, but the old ones still grow. Your memories perennial, coming back year after year. The garden of forgetting is watered by my tears. I wanna forget you, I wanna let you fade, but the garden of forgetting is not a garden I have made. It's a wild place, untamed and clean. You are the hardest weed. The garden of forgetting, I don't know if I'll ever succeed. But maybe forgetting is not the goal. Maybe the goal is integration, to let you be a part of the garden, not the entire foundation. To let your memory bloom alongside the new flowers I've sown. To let the garden of forgetting become a garden I've grown. The garden of forgetting, I'm not trying to forget you anymore. I'm not trying to pull your weeds, to eradicate your roots, to erase your existence. I'm learning to garden with you, to let you be a part of the landscape, not the entire view. The garden of forgetting, it's not a place of erasure, it's a place of integration. Your memory is not a weed, it's a wildflower, unexpected, persistent, beautiful. We had a love that wasn't ours, it belonged to the future, to the maybe, to the version of us that stayed together, that didn't go crazy. We had a love that existed in conditional tense and subjunctive mood. If you had stayed, if I had tried, if we had understood. We had a love that was never realized, never given breath. A love that lived in possibility, in the space between life and death. We had a love that wasn't ours, it was the love we could have had. It was the love we almost built, the love that drives me mad. The love that wasn't ours, they almost us. The nearly we, the future that existed only in the mind of me. The love that wasn't ours, I carry it like a child that wasn't born. I grieve it like a death, I mourn it like a dawn that never came. The love that wasn't ours is the heaviest weight I hold. It's the story that was never told, the hand that never took hold. The love that wasn't ours, I don't know how to let it go. It never existed, but I loved it so. I know it's foolish to grieve something that never was, to mourn a love that never lived, to mourn a missing cause. But I can't help it, I spent years building the love in my head. I decorated its rooms, furnished its spaces, made its bed. I knew the way it would feel to wake up next to you every day. I knew the way it would sound to hear our children play. I knew this love so intimately, so completely, so well. It wasn't ours, but in my mind it was real. It was palpable, it was swell. The love that wasn't ours, it almost us. The nearly we, the future that existed only in the mind of me. The love that wasn't ours, I carry it like a child that wasn't born. I grieve it like a death, I mourn it like a dawn that never came. The love that wasn't ours is the heaviest weight I hold. It's the story that was never told, the hand that never took hold. The love that wasn't ours, I don't know how to let it go. It never existed, but I loved it so. I'm learning to let go of the love that wasn't ours. I'm learning to release the future I built in my head, the fantasy, the peace I thought we'd ever learn and that we never was. Can still be grief, can still be more, can still be the cause. The love that wasn't ours, I'm laying it to rest. Not in anger, not in bitterness, in acceptance, in peace. A love that wasn't ours, it was beautiful. This love that never lived, it was perfect. This love that was never tested, it was everything. This love that was nothing, the love that wasn't ours. I'm imagining great love, and that imagination is not a failure, it's a gift. The love that wasn't ours. Goodbye to the conditional. Goodbye to the subjunctive. Goodbye to the almost. Hello to the actual. Hello to the real. Hello to the love that is mine, not the love that wasn't ours. The love that is mine, and it is real, and it is now, and it is enough. The love that wasn't ours. I release you, I release me, I release us, and I am free. There's a frequency you leave behind when you go, a vibration in the air, a hum, a steady low tone that lingers in the rooms where you used to be, the resonance of absence, the sound of losing thee. I hear it in the hallway when I come home at night, the echo of your footsteps, the ghost of your light. I hear it in the bedroom, in the space beside my head. The resonance of absence, the song of the dead. This is the resonance of absence, the frequency of loss. It plays on a loop in my heart at my own personal cost. It's not loud, it's not sharp, it's just there, always there. The resonance of absence, the weight of the air. I've tried to change the frequency to tune it out, to find a new station, but the resonance of absence is the only sound in my nation. It's the background music of my life since you've been gone. The resonance of absence, the persistent, quiet dawn. Scientists say that everything has a natural frequency, even the things we can't see, even the memory of things. The resonance of absence is the frequency of you, not the you who was here, but the you who withdrew. It's a vibration of your departure, the sound wave of your goodbye. It's the echo of your last words, the tone of your sigh. It's the frequency of the space you left, the vacuum of your place. The resonance of absence, the sound of empty space. This is the resonance of absence, the frequency of loss. It plays on a loop in my heart at my own personal cost. It's not loud, it's not sharp, it's just there, always there. The resonance of absence, the weight of the air. I've tried to change the frequency to tune it out, to find a new station, but the resonance of absence is the only sound in my nation. It's the background music of my life since you've been gone. The resonance of absence, the persistent, quiet dawn. But frequencies can shift, the resonance can change. The sound of your absence doesn't have to be the entire range of my hearing. I'm learning to hear other notes, other tones. I'm learning that silence has its own frequency, its own overtones. The resonance of absence, I hear it less now. It's still there, a background hum, but it's not the only sound. I hear the birds in the morning, I hear the rain on the roof. I hear my own breath in and out, steady and calm. I hear my own voice singing in the shower, laughing with friends, speaking my truth. The resonance of absence, it's not the dominant frequency anymore. It's just one note in the symphony of my life, and my life has many notes, many melodies, many songs. The resonance of absence, it's not the sound of together we make a new music, not the music of us, the music of me. And it is beautiful, it is resonant, it is mine. We talked about planting a tree in the backyard of our future house. An oak you said strong and steady, with branches wide enough to rouse the envy of the neighbors. We'd hang a swing from its strongest limb. We watch it grow as our children grew, as our lives grew full and brim. With memory, we spent an afternoon at the nursery, touching leaves, reading tags, imagining the shade it would provide on summer eves. We never bought it, we never dug the hole, we never put it in the ground. The tree we never planted, the most beautiful tree never found. The tree we never planted, its roots never took hold, its branches never spread, its story never told. It exists only in our imagination, in the nursery of our minds. The tree we never planted, the dream that unwinds and unwinds and never finds its way into the soil. The tree we never planted, the evidence of our toil and our failure. I think about it sometimes, that oak we never bought, the tree we never planted, the future we never called. Hey, I drive by the nursery, sometimes it's still there, same as before. The oaks are in the same section, right by the garden store. I park and walk among them, touch the leaves, read the tags. I imagine bringing one home, digging a hole, putting it in bags of soil and compost. I imagine watering it, watching it grow, but I don't buy it, I don't know why. I just turn and go. Maybe because the tree needs a home, a place to put down roots. Maybe because I'm not ready to plan futures without you in the shoes. The tree we never planted, its roots never took hold, its branches never spread, its story never told. It exists only in our imagination, in the nursery of our minds. The tree we never planted, the dream that unwinds and unwinds and never finds its way into the soil. The tree we never planted, the evidence of our toil and our failure. I think about it sometimes, that oak we never bought, the tree we never planted, the future we never called. Today I bought a tree, not an oak, a dogwood, smaller, delicate, white. I planted it in my backyard in the afternoon light. It's not the tree we talked about, it's not our tree, it's mine. And it's beautiful, and it's growing, and it's doing just fine. The tree we never planted, I planted my own, not an oak, a dogwood, not for us, for me. Its roots are taking hold, its branches are spreading, its story is being told. The tree we never planted, I don't think about it as much anymore. I think about my dogwood blooming in the spring, white petals falling like snow. I think about the swing I might hang from its branches, not for our children, for me. For you, I knew where I was going. I had a map, a plan, a route. I had destinations circled, timelines figured out. I knew north from south, east from west. I knew which way to turn. I knew the roads that led to joy, the ones that led to burn. And you arrive with your own compass, your own magnetic north. You said, let me guide you, let me show you what life is worth. I handed you my compass, my maps, my carefully drawn charts. I trusted you to navigate the territory of our hearts. But you took the compass when you left. You took the needle and the dial. You left me in uncharted territory, wandering from mile after mile. I don't know which way is home anymore. I don't know which way is true. You took the compass, now I'm lost without you. I spin in circles trying to find my bearing, trying to find the north. But every direction feels the same when you're the one who set the course. You took the compass, you took the only guide I had. Now I'm just wandering, lost, confused, sad. I've tried to buy a new compass, I've been to every store, I've ordered online, read reviews, tried to restore my sense of direction. But every compass I buy points somewhere else. None of them point to the place where I can find myself. Because the compass you took wasn't made of metal and glass. It was made of trust and faith and promises that wouldn't last. It was made of us, of our shared dreams, of the life we planned to build. You took the compass and my sense of direction was killed. But you took the compass when you left. You took the needle and the dial. You left me in uncharted territory, wandering from mile after mile. I don't know which way is home anymore. I don't know which way is true. You took the compass, now I'm lost without you. I spin in circles trying to find my bearing, trying to find the north. But every direction feels the same when you're the one who set the course. You took the compass, you took the only guide I had. Now I'm just wandering, lost, confused, sad. But maybe I don't need a compass. Maybe I don't need the north from south. Maybe I can navigate by the stars, by my own intuition and mouth. Maybe I can learn to trust my own sense of direction, my own internal GPS. Maybe getting lost is not a curse, maybe it's a blessing. I confess, you took the compass, but I don't need it anymore. I don't need a needle pointing north. I don't need a map with marked routes. I don't need a plan to know where I'm going. You took the compass, but I am learning to navigate by the stars, the constellations of my own heart, the North Star of my own truth. You took the compass, but I am not lost. It's goodbye to the needle, goodbye to the dial. Hello to the stars, hello to the journey, hello to me. Who took the compass? I tried to read you from the first day we met. I studied your cover, your title, the font on the jacket, the silhouette. You looked interesting, intriguing, the kind of book I wanna keep. I opened you to page one, started reading, started to leap into your story. But the pages were blank, or so it seemed. Your words were sparse, your paragraphs few, your chapters undreamed. I kept reading, kept turning pages, hoping for more, but you were a closed book. You kept your story locked behind the door. You were a closed book, spine unbroken, pages uncut. I tried to read you, tried to understand, but the lock was shut. You wouldn't let me in, wouldn't share your ply. You were a closed book, and I forgot that some books are meant to stay closed. The story's never told, some books are just covers, empty pages cold. You were a closed book, I should have put you back on the shelf, but I kept trying to read you, I kept trying to read myself. I thought if I just read more carefully, more slowly, with more care, your story would reveal itself, your words would be laid bare. I thought if I just invested enough time, enough love, enough faith, you'd open up, you'd trust me, you'd let me see your rays. But you never did, you remained a mystery, an enigma code I couldn't crack. Every time I thought I'd found the key, you pushed me back. You were a closed book, and I was a desperate reader, hungry for the tale. But you were never gonna let me read you, you were never gonna unveil. You were a closed book, spine unbroken, pages uncut. I tried to read you, tried to understand, but the lock was shut. You wouldn't let me in, wouldn't share your ply. You were a closed book, and I forgot that some books are meant to stay closed. The story's never told, some books are just covers, empty pages cold. You were a closed book, I should have put you back on the shelf. I'm not reading closed books anymore, I'm not investing in empty pages. I'm not trying to unlock hearts that have been locked for ages. I want a book that opens easily, whose pages are warm and soft. I want a story that wants to be read, a heart that is not aloft. You were a closed book, stop trying to read you, I put you back on the shelf, in the section of books I'll never finish. You were a closed book, but I am an open one. My pages are worn from being read, my spine is creased from being held. My story is written in ink that is visible, in words that are clear, in chapters that are open to interpretation. You were a closed book, but I am open, open to being read, open to being understood, open to being loved, not as a hello to me, open and ready to be seen. You were closed, but I am open, and open is better. Open is braver. Open is right. Open is brave. You are at the height of summer, when the days were long and gold, the world was lush and green. The heat was bold, we swam in lakes, stayed up late, let the fireflies light our way. You were the peak of the season, the brightest, longest day. But summer doesn't last forever. The days began to shorten, the warmth began to fade, the warmth began to soften. You didn't leave all at once, you just gradually declined. You were the season's end, and summer was already behind. You were a season's end, the closing of the year. The harvest gathered, the leaves turned, the sky grew clear and cold. You were the autumn of my heart, the transition, the in-between. Not quite summer, not yet winter, the quiet fading green. You were a season's end, I should've known you wouldn't stay. Seasons end, they always do, they always fade away. You were a season's end, and I was still wearing summer clothes, unprepared for the chill, for the frost, for the snow. Felt the shift in the air. It was late September, and you were sitting in your chair reading, and I looked at you and thought, something is different now. The light on your face was different, the way you held your brow was different. You looked like someone who was already gone in spirit, if not in body. You looked like the dawn of a new season, a season I wasn't part of. You were already moving on. You were a season's end, the summer was already gone. You were a season's end, the closing of the year. The harvest gathered, the leaves turned, the sky grew clear and cold. You were the autumn of my heart, the transition, the in-between. Not quite summer, not yet winter, the quiet fading green. You were a season's end, I should've known you wouldn't stay. Seasons end, they always do, they always fade away. You were a season's end, and I was still wearing summer clothes, unprepared for the chill, for the frost, for the snow. I've learned to dress for the weather now. I check the forecast every day. I keep a sweater in the car, an umbrella in the hallway. I'm prepared for the seas to change, for the warmth to come and go. I've learned that I can survive the winter. I've learned to weather the snow. We're a season's end, but seasons don't just end, they cycle. Summer becomes autumn, autumn becomes winter, winter becomes spring, and spring becomes summer again. You were a season after year. You gave me 3 years, 2 months and 11 days. You gave me 160 every morning of your particular way. You gave me 167 nights of your body next to mine. You gave me almost forever, but you drew the line. You gave me the almost wedding, the almost dress, the almost ring. You gave me the almost children, the almost everything. You gave me almost forever, and then you took it back. You gave me almost forever, and that's a different kind of love. You're almost forever, the almost endless love, the almost happily ever after, the almost push and shove of eternity. You're almost forever. I almost had it all, I almost had the life I wanted. Almost doesn't count and love almost doesn't win. Almost is just a place where hope goes to die again and again. You're almost forever. I almost don't know what to do with almost. It's not nothing but it ever is almost you. I've done the math 1,000 times. 3 years, 2 months, 11 days. 116, 7 mornings, 116, 7 nights, 28 double 8 hours of haze and clarity. 1, 6, 84, 80 minutes of you and me. And yet when I add it all up, it's not eternity. It's just a blip, a moment of breath in the scope of a life. It's just a chapter, not the book. It's just a wife I never became. It's just a future that never arrived. You're almost forever, I almost survive. You're almost forever, the almost endless love, the almost happily ever after, the almost push and shove of eternity. You're almost forever. I almost had it all, I almost had the life I want, but almost doesn't count and love almost doesn't win. Almost is just a place where hope goes to die again and again. You're almost forever. I almost don't know what to do with almost. It's not nothing, but it's not forever. It's almost you. I'm done with almost, I'm done with nearly, with close but not quite. I'm done with the almost husband, the almost life, the almost life. I want forever, not almost, forever, not nearly, forever, not close. I want the real thing, and I want it from someone who knows. You're almost forever returning it, like a gift receipt, like a dress that doesn't fit, like a ring that's too tight. You're almost forever. I don't want it anymore. I don't want almost, I don't want nearly, I don't want close. I want here, I want now, I want real. You're almost forever. I'm trading it in for my own forever, and my forever doesn't depend on you. My forever is mine. My forever is now. My forever is me. lose forever. Goodbye to almost. Hello to forever. Hello to me. You signed your name on my heart the day we met. Not in ink, but in presence, in a permanent quiet day. Your signature was elegant, confident, sure. You wrote it with care, made it clear and pure. I carried it with me everywhere, this autograph of you. I showed it to my friends, my family, my reflection to see. I said I am signed, I am claimed, I am chosen. I thought your signature was permanent, never to be frozen. But now your signature is fading, the ink is wearing thin. The loops and swirls of your name are hard to see, hard to begin to read. Your signature is fading like a receipt in the sun. The evidence of your claim on me is almost gone, almost done. I trace the faded lines with my finger, try to remember how it looked. Your fading signature, the promise that you booked and never fulfilled. Your fading signature, I thought it was tattooed in my skin. But signatures fade, and so does the love that was within. I've tried to preserve it, to keep it from fading away. I've kept it out of the sun, in the darkness, day after day. I've handled it gently, with clean hands, with care. I've treated it like the relic that it is, the evidence of our affair. But signatures fade regardless, it's the nature of ink. No matter how carefully you preserve it, it will eventually sink into the paper, become illegible, become a blur. Your fading signature, the final quiet her. But now your signature is fading, the ink is wearing thin. The loops and swirls of your name are hard to see, hard to begin to read. Your signature is fading like a receipt in the sun. The evidence of your claim on me is almost gone, almost done. I trace the faded lines with my fingers, try to remember how it looked. Your fading signature, the promise that you booked and never fulfilled. Your fading signature, I thought it was tattooed in my skin. But signatures fade, and so does the love that was within. I don't need your signature on my heart anymore. I don't need to be claimed. I don't need an autograph to prove that I am named. I have my own signature now, my own mark to make. And it's not fading, it's bold and bright and awake. Your fading signature, I can barely read it now. The Y is almost gone. The loops of your name are just curves, unconnected, uncertain, uncertain. I saw it today on the sidewalk in the late afternoon light. shadow stretched before me, long and thin and quiet. And there at the edge of my shadow was another shadow too, the faint outline of a hand reaching out, trying to hold on to. Man, I stopped and stared, my heart caught in my throat. It was your hand, I knew it, the ghost of the note you used to leave on my skin. It was your fingers interlaced with mine, your hand in my shadow, a trick of the light, a sign. Your hand in my shadow, the ghost of your touch. I see it sometimes when the sun is low and the light isn't too much. It appears at the edge of my silhouette, reaching for what's not there. Your hand in my shadow, the evidence of care. I don't reach back, I know it's just light and shadow, just a trick, just a game. But some days I pretend it's really you, and I whisper your name. Your hand in my shadow, the only part of you that stayed, the only part of you that didn't fade. I've tried to outrun it, to walk on the shady side of the street. I've tried to avoid below sun, to make the illusion retreat. But your hand finds me anywhere, in parking lots and parks, in my own backyard. It's persistent, this shadow hand, this memory, this shard of what we were. It doesn't ask permission, it doesn't need consent. It just appears, a phantom appendage, a permanent dent. In my solitude, I've stopped trying to avoid it. I've stopped trying to run. Your hand in my shadow, the shadow of what we'd become. Your hand in my shadow, the ghost of your touch. I see it sometimes when the sun is low and the light isn't too much. It appears at the edge of my silhouette, reaching for what's not there. Your hand in my shadow, the evidence of care. I go reach back, I know it's just light and shadow, just a trick, just a game. But some days I pretend it's really you, and I whisper your name. Your hand in my shadow, the only part of you that stay, the only part of you that didn't fade. The shadows change with the light, they stretch and shrink and disappear. Your hand in my shadow won't be here forever. It's not permanent, it's not clear. One day the light will hit at a different angle, and your hand won't appear, and I won't reach for it, I won't whisper your name, I won't shed a tear. Your hand in my shadow, I saw it today, fainter than before. The outline was blurred, the fingers less distinct. Your hand in my shadow is fading, like you, like us, like the light at the end of the day. Your hand in my shadow, soon it will be just my shadow, long and thin and quiet, reaching for nothing, holding nothing, just me. today. I saw it today. Your hand in my shadow. 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 I saw it today. Your hand in my shadow. It's next to me. Your hand in my shadow. Your hand in my shadow. I saw it today. Your hand in my shadow.